Hi friends, welcome to Lotus and Light. My name is Jennifer. Okay, I'm just going to roll right into our next video in our new video series called High Vibe Diet. So as you dive into 2026, the idea here is that we're taking a new and different approach to getting healthy in 2026, and kind of moving away from some of those old belief systems, old narratives, and old ideas that to become physically fit and physically healthy, that the method is exclusively about what we eat, the exercise that we do. Those things are helpful and beneficial. And depending on your vibrational frequency, meaning depending on your belief systems, that might be the only way for you, right? Or depending on your belief systems, that might not work at all for you. Everybody's in a different place energetically, and there's going to be solutions for you that match that energetic frequency that you will attract, and that will work for you. Um, I am here reaching an audience that I believe is at an energetic frequency that's looking for something that goes against the status quo, that is not conforming to the conventions of the world's wisdom about physical health, but that is tapping into a higher wisdom about physical health. And it comes with an understanding that everything external of us is just a reflection of what's happening internally, including our external body. Okay, including the relationships we're in, including the experiences we have in the world around us, including our job, including our home, including everything is just a reflection of what's going on internally. And as that changes, your exterior changes. And with that belief system, there's an understanding that as we heal inside, we heal outside. And it doesn't have to be with the same level of effort and work and, that pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality and no pain, no gain mentality. That is a belief system. And it's a real and true belief system if you believe it, because if you believe it, then that's what it's going to take. If you believe it requires hard work to see results, then it will require hard work to see results. I believe that if I focus that energy and that effort and that quote hard work on healing inward, the outside is just going to happen naturally with it. And I would also argue that what we think is the hard work of that inner healing isn't actually hard. It's just scary because it's unknown, right? It's unknown territory. And we've been taught not to go there, and not to dig too deep into our emotions. But that emotional healing and that release of that energy physically within our body that we're holding on to within our body, when we let go of that and we're able to release that, we're also able to release the manifestations of that energy that have been manifesting in the physical. And what I mean is, if we're holding on to things internally, then that can reflect in things like holding on to weight externally, right? If we're having limiting beliefs internally that are keeping us from feeling good internally, then we won't feel good externally or physically. We'll start to have ailments and sickness and disease. All those things that are happening on your external body are happening as a reflection of that internal. So let's identify what is the first thing that we can shed in the new year, or one of the things that we can shed in the new year that will help us shed some of that physical weight and physical disease and things as well. And the first one that I want to talk about is uh, the belief that we need to be in control. This is a big one. Might be the biggest one. I don't know, because this is going to feel like a big, heavy hurdle to overcome. But man, once you get there, it's unbelievable, unbelievable. So I used to be a type A major, major, major control freak, controlling everything in my life. And it felt like I needed to do that because even though I was a very deeply spiritual person, um, my belief systems kept God at bay for me, right? I couldn't find that direct connection to God easily. I'm not saying I never found it, because I can look back and reflect and see God's fingerprints all over my life. But I didn't understand that I could tune in directly and get as clear and direct answers as I get now. And again, it was rooted in a belief system. That was a very limiting belief system about who I was, who God is, and my connection to God. Or now, if God isn't your belief system, maybe it's a higher self, soul self, uh, design, grand designer, creator, right? The universe, whatever word you want to use. But your beliefs about your connection and ability to hear and understand and get and receive regular guidance in the moment, daily, not just at night when you're praying or occasionally when God wants to reveal themselves. All the time, God is guiding you, but God is guiding you through your body, through your heart. And we have belief systems that tend to ignore that and suppress that even. So learning to let go of control first means that you have to be willing to open up and tune in to your body And with that, you will start to, through your intuition, you'll begin to build that trust relationship with God and see in real time and know and hear and feel in real time God's protection, God's wisdom, all the things that keep us from letting go of control because we feel like we have to do it on our own. We feel like nobody's guiding us and it's our job to figure all this stuff out. And it's our job to control our destiny. And it's our job to bring prosperity to our own life. And it's our job to keep our children safe. And it's our job to um, um, change the outcomes of the world around us. And there's some truth in all of that, but our methods are a little askew. The ways of the world have taught us that those things come through external control when in fact those things come through internal control. So learning to tune in internally will provide you with all the control you need, all the wisdom you need, and will allow you to release the control that you think you need on the outer world. And in fact, as you change in here, your outer world has to change with it. As your beliefs change, your outer world has to change to reflect those things. It's universal law. It's the law of attraction. It's the law of abundance. It's the scientific and spiritual laws that are the truths that kind of anchor our universe. Okay, I'm getting way out there, aren't I? Let's just take a card here. Which wants to speak? I'm going to pull from Sacred Rebels, Oracle, and see what we get from here. Trust is a real tricky one. Trusting in spirit. It's so, even if you're deeply, deeply rooted in spiritual beliefs, and even when, I know for me, even when I thought I was trusting, I was still controlling everything. And it is a heavy burden to bear. It is a heavy weight to carry to think that everything in your life feels outside of your control. And you've got to figure out how to rein it in and try to control it all. But that isn't the way. The easy path, if you don't believe that it can be easy, then you won't believe this. But the easy path is in so a couple flipped over. I don't know that we want to read all of these. So I'll reference all three, and then I'll probably go with the top one because it was the first one in terms of the one that we dive deeper into. But I lost my train of thought. So it was whatever I was saying. If it was meant to be said, it'll come back to me. But as we think about releasing, if you believe the way is supposed to be hard, you won't believe this, but it actually can be easy to release that need to control the external. But it all hinders upon your belief systems, which is an internal thing, which is why we have to focus on our internal. And when you let go of the weight of that burden of controlling all these uncontrollables, there are things you can't control for a reason. And when you stop trying to control them, the peace that reigns over your life, the joy you're able to find in your life, just thinking about it right now, if you're really connecting with what I'm saying, I can literally feel the stress draining out of my body. Do you feel that? It feels lighter. And guess what? What feels lighter in here eventually will be lighter on the outside. So again, coming back to that, if you're looking for that way to get physically fit, to lose weight, whatever that is in the new year, turn inward. Okay, so the first card that pops out is big, bold vision. And I would say that letting go of control in your life is a big, bold vision. And that's really what we're talking about. We get caught up in the New Year's resolutions and these things, commitments we make in the new year, and then they become taboo. It's like, don't set yourself up for that failure or whatever it is. So removing all that language, just recognizing that astrologically, the new year, it just flows with like nature and the cycles of life, that the new year is a wonderful time in the right time to examine your beliefs, to examine your life, to examine your health and make some changes. It just seasonally, it's part of the cycle of the universe. And that's why it feels good. And that's why we've created things like New Year's resolutions. But maybe think of it this way. Maybe think of it as your big, bold vision for 2026. And with that big, bold vision comes a moving out of just the physical ideas of it, moving out of just the idea of changing your body, changing your outer circumstances, and moving into the idea of changing more inward, of connecting more spiritually. See here, her third eye is open. She is receiving divine wisdom, not just wisdom of the world that says, do this exercise regimen and eat these foods and you will get skinny, but that says, shed these beliefs and you will be transformed and experience more joy, more love, more peace, more health, more abundance. Okay, that's the big bold vision. And then behind that, and I think these two might speak to how how or what we have to release to get to this big bold vision. Oh my gosh, come on, come on. 25. And 25 breaks down to a 7. That is a direct message from God. Big bold vision was a 15, breaks down to a 6. We'll talk about that in a minute. But release the dark wound. Let love live. Okay. Even what you're saying to yourself about your body and your external appearance, if it's negative, that is not from a loving place. That is not God's words. That is not God's truth. What you believe about your body, if it's anything negative, it is actually, that negative feeling is actually God telling you you're believing something that is not aligned with who you are. Okay. So step one is release the dark wound and let love live. Love yourself, including your physical body, exactly how it is. That is really the first step. And as you start to love yourself physically and find that love for yourself and release the burden of looking a certain way, that right there, that'll drop pounds, I promise you, just by letting that go, that burden. Okay. And then the next one is relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. Do you see the themes here? Release, relax. Okay. Those two words embody letting go of control. Wow. Thank you, Spirit. What a bow to put on this message about control. Release, relax. We're releasing the dark wound. That's what I was saying about letting the energy flow. We hold on to traumas. We hold on to fears. We hold on to all these things that are, and that's what ties to our need to control, right? Because we don't want to experience more of those things, but those things are there to teach us. And so anyway, let go of control by releasing the dark wound and relaxing the hold of darkness. Okay. And be at cause. And your cause is to heal this inside so that this can also heal. Not so that, but that's just a byproduct. Okay. So big bold vision. I'm going to read a little bit of this one. This is beautiful. Wow, what beautiful messages. And I just want to point out, do you see this one? This is actually a naked body here under the light being transformed by the light. That's exactly what we're talking about here. Spirit is so wonderful. Being transformed, letting go of the darkness so that we can be transformed. And you know what the darkness is? Some people want to call it evil, and that's fine if you want to call it evil. Darkness is just um, it's just the things we don't understand. It's the boogeyman under the bed or in the closet, right? That isn't really there, but we're afraid of it anyway because we think it is. That's all that the darkness is. That's all that evil is. Evil lives in here in our mind, in our ego, our human mind. And when we turn on the light of, when we allow ourselves to be enlightened by God, by the spiritual, which requires letting go of control, then we see the truth. Then the closet is illuminated. Underneath the bed is illuminated, right? Our mind is illuminated, and we see that there's actually nothing to fear there. Okay, big, bold vision. You are not born to play a small role in life. You have the ability to dream big, even if you have absolutely no idea about how your visions can come to pass or what all of the details may look like. You can access the heart and guts of a vision by tapping into your wildest dreams and surrendering attachment to exactly how it will all work out. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Listen, my throat chakra. I'm finding my voice right now in this message. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Spirit. I'm going to repeat that because this is what letting go of control is. Exactly. It says, um, you can access the heart and guts of a vision by tapping into your wildest dreams and surrendering attachment to exactly how it will all work out. So when we hold on, when we attach to an outcome, that is a sickness. That is spirit telling you that attachment is a sickness. It is a lack of trust, a lack of faith. When we let go of the attachment of that outcome, so when we let go of the idea that the only way I can get skinny or get healthy is by this exercise regimen or this, and we're willing to let spirit guide us into a new way, the outcomes are beautiful. Okay. And it may or may not have to do with shedding weight. It may not be for you to shed weight, which is also a fear, right? What if I'm not meant to be skinny? Oh no. And that, and I say that in jest, but that actually is a real fear for people. I know it has been for me. Um, Although you might have some adjustments to make. Did I skip something? I totally lost my place. So I'm just going to try to go where spirit's leading me. Okay, I'm going to go here. A sign that you're cracking out of your limited thinking to allow for a big, bold vision to come to you is that you might feel a little dizzy with the shrinking limitations and expanding possibilities of life. Dizziness is a sign that you are leveling up. And if you're watching energetically, and if you're watching this video, I would suggest you are leveling up because you know what you're doing is acknowledging that no longer these ways of the world, these patterns of the world, they're not getting it for you. It's not working for you. The struggle is real. And you're saying there's got to be a different way. There's got to be an easier way. And there is. And when you feel dizzy and lightheaded, that is a sign that you got a foot in both worlds. You're still here in this whatever frequency you were in, but you're also stepping into this new belief system, these new ideas. Um, you may wonder if you're allowed to access so much wonder. Remember that in your healing and growing success, as you manifest this big vision, you can touch the hearts of others through your presence, your inner work, your art, and your choices. It's a win-win situation. Those that are meant to live big, bold, and visionary lives need to give themselves permission to break the mold and forge newer, more expansive perspectives of what is possible, what is permitted, and what is of service. It's about letting go and opening up. Others will benefit from this, even though it's your vision. It isn't just about you. You're being asked to remember that when something's right for you, endless synchronicities and support will flow your way at the right time and in the right way. Stay open, receptive, playful, and surrendered. Um, okay. Uh, it does say this oracle brings a message for those who would like to further develop their intuitive sight. Intuitive sight. It's already happening. Trust in what you perceive. Okay. Trust in what you perceive. If you're hearing this message and it doesn't feel true for you, then it's not true for you. But if you're hearing this message and it's like, ooh, I'm it feels right. It feels good. Listen to your body. Listen to your body. You're already releasing, right? You're already shedding. Scripture, there's a scripture that says that you do not pour new wine in old wineskins, right? There's tons of scriptures that talk about shedding and releasing the old and embracing the new. But I like you don't pour new wine in old wineskins, right? There you have some old ways of thinking, some old ways of living, some old ways of believing. And as you pour new wine in, your body will become a new wineskin. Okay. It will transform. Okay. I'm going to leave it right there because I think I've been talking for a long time. I might have to go and make this run at like 1.25 speed or something so it's bearable. Thank you so much. This is for you. Relax and release as part of your new big, bold vision and letting go of control. Peace out.